following show you're about to listen to contains coarse language, sexual content, and rude behavior. Anything broadcast within Mobster Boss Radio should not be taken serious, as this is for entertainment only. All parts created within Mobster Boss Radio are copyrighted and may not be rebroadcast or distributed without permission. MobsterBoss.com and Mobster Boss Radio are not for those under the age of 18.
Candy here.
Foreplay. I just want to fuck.
You're listening to Mobster Boss Radio Live. Radio Live.
Back by popular demand.
Let's get ready to rumble!
JD. Sunny.
And Lester.
Let's do it then!
Ang susunod na palabas ay rated PG.
You're listening to Mobster Boss Radio Live.
Get ready and take some notes. In less than 60 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to shower like a man. Right fast, because I'm talking fast. Take your clothes off and leave them in a pile on the floor. Walk naked to the bathroom. And if you should pass your girlfriend or wife on the way, shake your wiener at her because you know she wants it. Look at your manly physique in the mirror. Suck in your gut to see if you've got any pecs. You don't, but it don't matter. You're a man. Admire the size of your wiener in the mirror and scratch your ass. You're a man. Get in the shower. Don't bother looking for a washcloth. That's right. You're a man. You don't use one. Wash your face, wash your armpits, blow your nose in your hands, and then let the water rinse it off. Crack up at how loud your farts sound in the shower, and wash your butt, leaving all those big old coarse butt hairs on the soap bar. It don't matter. You're a man. Shampoo your hair, but you definitely don't use conditioner. That's right. You're a man. And then you pee in the shower. Oh, yeah. You're a man. Rinse off, get out. You have showered like a man. And that, my friends, is less than a minute.
Now we must be ready.
Candy here with JD, Sunny, and Lester. You're listening to Mobster Boss Radio Live.
Hey, welcome to Mobster Boss Radio. My name is JD. We've got Lester here, Sunny as well. Want to get in on the show? You can. It's 469-814-TWAT. TWAT spelled out 8928. And also, you can like us on Facebook. Look for Mobster Boss Radio on our Facebook page. Or you can, if you're listening on Spreaker, I know on our main show page, you can just like us and you get all the updates. Hello to Beyond Buzz, Lady Cobra. Dougal's in the chat room already chatting it up.
Hey, Tim.
They've come for the broadcast today.
Yes.
I don't know what kind of broadcast it's going to be, to be totally honest. I have this feeling like this could be the worst one we've ever done.
You know, but we always think that.
I know. It's true. We do.
Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about today is the events from the Boston Marathon the other day. You know, everybody's talking about it. It's
right.
something that and we don't want to join that wagon to tire everybody out. I guess we just want to kind of give our opinions on some of these other people that are actually talking about it. So we're not going to be talking about the events so much as what other people are talking about the events.
Right, because we all agree that this was a terrible, terrible tragedy.
Absolutely. And there's really nothing else that you can say. And
Absolutely.
to be totally honest, I don't think there's anybody else you can blame except for the bombers that were doing it.
Correct.
And that's kind of where we're going to go today in that direction. Also, we found a new show on Spreaker that, you know, we like to point out KTRN or the Resistance or Wayne Pierce, all their errors of their ways and how dumb and stupid they are. With that, and with our terrestrial radio that we've got going on, we really don't have the time to pick up anybody else. So what we've decided is we're going to present you with a show, and then we're going to let you do your investigating, fact-finding, and kind of report back to us on what you find.
And if it's good, I mean, if you found some good stuff out, we'll have you on.
That's right.
And we'll discuss it.
And we feel that this will be an easy assignment. We'll call it an assignment for you.
Really easy.
So we'll talk about that here in just a bit as well. Sonny, you know, the world's kind of a weird place these days. There's a lot of shit just going down that's not good.
It is. And, it's even weirder for me because I am now 15 days. This is my 15th day without a cigarette.
I picked a bad day to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you want to just jump right into it? Because I know
Sure.
we've only got another 40 minutes here. It's going to be a 45-minute show today.
Yeah.
The Boston Marathon events that happened the other day, immediately, I want to say within, 20 minutes? Mm-hmm. Pardon me. Sorry, I'm getting a cold. Within 20 minutes, the asshole, and I like to refer to him as an asshole, conspiracy theorist, what's his name?
Alex
Jones.
Fuck my face, Jones.
What an asshole. The guy's an asshole. Immediately, what did he call it, a false flag or something?
Called it a false flag event and tried to indicate that this is something perpetrated by the United States government in order to distract you, the people, away from what's really going on in the United States. What hogwash and shit.
Every time there's an event like this, you've got a barrage of scumbags that come out of the woodwork.
Correct.
I'm not surprised that he's the fucking leader of scumbags.
Well, and he is the most famous of all conspiracy theorists. I get that. But, there's got to come a time that you stop this shit. You grow up, you put on your big boy pants, and you realize that bad things happen in the world.
Yes.
You don't need to blame it on the President of the United States because you don't like him because he's black.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't. You got Wayne Pierce out there who follows Alex Jones's every goddamn lead. And so as soon as Alex Jones puts up that it's a false flag, you've got Wayne Pierce. I mean, Wayne drops his drawers, bends over, spreads his ass cheeks, and waits for Alex to insert one up his ass.
Yep.
And this guy, this Wayne Pierce, who doesn't pay school loans, who has fucked the government, fucked you, and anybody that pays taxes out of money for 25 years. And this guy has the audacity to blame the government who gave him an education. Supposedly, we don't even really know that Wayne Pierce went to college.
Yeah, who knows what he did with the money.
Yeah.
So anyways, Knight Rider brings up this other thing. He hit right on. I love when the people that are chatting in the chat room kind of interact with us because of stuff like this. He said, seen a picture of a chick that died in the school shooting and marathon also last night on Facebook. How is this possible? This is what these scumbags, when they come out of the ringer, do. You've got Alex Jones, the asshole, says it's a flag thing. If you look on Facebook, there's a picture going around of a supposed little girl that ran the race and died in the marathon, but then died in the school shooting as well. The bullshit flag should be raised immediately when you see stuff like this. If people would take the time to think about this shit before they start posting, they would realize it. Hello to the Juice Talk Radio podcast. Welcome for joining us, or thanks for joining us today. If you would realize on Facebook before you start posting shit, this picture of the girl that people are posting is absolutely false. First off, the Boston Marathon doesn't allow anybody under the age of, is it 15 to run in it? 15 or 18 or something?
I think that's right, to run in it, yes.
So first off, there was no little girls running in this marathon, and there were none that were killed after running in it. I just don't understand where these fuckers come up with this shit. I've got 6 false things that you've heard about the Boston Marathon that we'll go through here in just a bit.
Cool.
But this is just the shit that I'm talking about. People get on Facebook, and you know what? Facebook is a great thing for many things. Number one is the social interaction with everybody. But the other thing is news stories. Man, when shit goes down, you would know about it on Facebook because it just spreads like wildfire, whatever it is.
Even if it's bad information, it spreads like wildfire.
That's the downside of it because people are so... Facebook has turned people into amateur reporters.
Yes.
And with that comes the fact of early reporting without facts. And this is where Wayne Pierce and all these other motherfuckers that want to be conspiracy theorists get their information from. What's that?
They've turned into cub reporters. Isn't that what they used to call them?
Yes, well, and that's where these motherfuckers get their information. Okay, they'll see on Facebook a post, oh, this looks interesting, and then they'll click through to a link that some jackhole made up whatever the fuck just to get some sort of exposure, and they run with a news story as fact. Nobody fact checks anymore.
And we're going to go through another deal here in a little bit about how your computer can get you into big-time fucking trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're anonymous.
Exactly. I don't understand these, like I said, the amateur reporters. They take a story and they run with it, and it's so untrue. And people reading this, I don't know how somebody can read something and go, oh, that's fucking true, I'm going to post that. Another thing I see on Facebook is a lot with these Amber Alerts with kids, specifically one out of, I think, Quebec, Canada. This girl's been missing, here's the license plate. Okay, Google search something before you fucking repost it. Because if you were to Google search that story, you'll find out that it's fake.
Jesus Christ. Is that crazy or what?
But people take this shit as fact and they run with it.
Well, you know, the night of the day that happened, that evening I talked to somebody in Massachusetts, right? Or
yes.
However how you say that, Massachusetts or
yeah.
Anyway, I talked to somebody up there. And he was looking on Facebook and he goes, Jesus Christ, there's 50 people dead?
Yeah.
I said, no, I've heard of 2 or 3. And one of the 2 or 3 was an 8-year-old kid. But somebody on Facebook had put, there was like hundreds injured, 50 some odd dead. Mm-hmm. And it was just going like wildfire. And where do they get this information?
Yeah. I don't know.
And then there's that story about the guy that was on top of the roof up there at the deal that somebody caught on a camera. And
yes.
Now all of a sudden they're saying that this guy is a person of interest in the bombings. It's just crazy.
Well, Dougal just posted. I love the fact that people post anything on Facebook and so many people believe it without research. And then they tell a few people, and those people just assume you heard it as fact and not ask those people to do the same type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is that way. It's just insane. I just don't understand.
Now
people
Dougal says,
need to be in the middle of something is crazy.
Right. Now, Dougal says that roof guy is very suspicious. I'm going to tell you right now.
I agree that it is kind of suspicious.
Not to me, it isn't, and I'm going to tell you why. The rooftop guy is very suspicious to anybody that has not been to the Boston Marathon.
That's me. I haven't been.
If you've not been there, you don't understand that during the Boston Marathon, people gather on rooftops to take pictures of it, to have parties, and so on. They try cracking down on it. So when somebody on the outside looking in at this event and there's something bad going on, they see something out of the ordinary, like, why is that fucker on the roof? What's he doing? Well, that's one picture of a guy on a roof. I guarantee you there's people on the roof all over.
Okay, you may be right. I know here in Dallas, ever since 1963 when Kennedy was killed, mm-hmm. they just don't have people on the roofs here in Dallas when anything happens.
Now, Dougal says they have found a suspect, and I did see that on Drudge Report earlier. They do have
that
one.
That guy from Saudi Arabia?
No, a different one.
Really?
That story is going to be coming up in 6 false things you heard about the Boston Massacre.
Okay.
I've got my little list here. 6 things that you may have heard.
See, and good, because I'm glad you did, because I've got one that I've heard, and I bet you it's in that, about the police guarding a room.
See, Dougal just sent me a link, and do you have Dougal on your Skype?
No, I don't.
Okay. Dougal, go ahead and copy and paste that link into my Skype so I can read it here in a second. Because this could be breaking. Let me see. Reports police identify suspect in Boston Marathon bombings. He said he's arrested. Dougal said he's arrested.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and we're going to get stuff like this all the time where these reports are coming out every hour.
But you know what? We're not going to pretend like anything's fact. We're just going to, like that deal. We don't pretend like Wayne fuck me in the ass Pierce does and thinks that it's something that's fact and this and that, especially if it's kind of suspicious. We're just rolling with the flow right now.
Okay, and this is out of Who the fuck is this out of? WXYZ. I guess this is out of Boston. No. Yeah, Boston, I think.
Okay.
They are reporting, multiple media organizations are reporting that officials have arrested a suspect in the Boston Marathon bombings. CNN, the Associated Press, and Boston.com all report that the suspect is due in federal court in Boston.
Wow.
They're reporting the suspect was taken into custody Wednesday morning.
This morning, okay.
The suspect was spotted on 2 video sources.
Oh, 2 video sources. In other words, see, I had heard something on the news that they were scouring, video, of course, but that they also had some stationary video stuff, from stores and different areas that might have the person that put that bomb there, already captured in its images.
Yep. Now, Brad, TPK, welcome along. He's in the chat room here. He says it's time. I say line him up in front of a makeshift bomb. I tell you what,
brother.
These people do need to be. People like this need to be publicly humiliated and then publicly executed.
I agree.
Because I tell you what, we start doing that shit, this will all disappear.
Absolutely.
We start being a little bit more harsh with our punishments, and people aren't going to go running around doing this shit.
Well, you know what? And a lot of that comes with, people like us, we sit here and Brad and whoever say, you know what, as soon as we start doing that, but as soon as we start calling for that, then you've got these bleeding heart motherfuckers that are sitting around and going, oh, man, you can't say that. You can't say nigger. You can't do this. You can't. And they're all upset over all of this sort of stuff. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of political correctness. And I'm just tired of it.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. And guys, if you want to chime in, we got a lot of new people in here today. The Juice Talk Radio podcast says they deserve the same punishment they give.
Absolutely, brother.
I think they do.
And don't get me wrong. Look, I live in Texas. Texas is the home of false accusations and false people getting prosecuted. I get that. Because in Texas, we have a system of justice to where the prosecutor cannot be prosecuted for anything that he does wrong in order to get a prosecution. I get that. I don't know that that's everywhere else, but if the evidence is really out there and these guys are really guilty, then I say do away with them.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you. If they can prove without reasonable doubt that this person's guilty, why can't we string him up by the nuts and take a couple beatings at him and take him out?
Yeah. You don't handcuff him and put him in a nice, comfortable car. You just drag him behind a pickup truck on the way to jail, right?
Why not torture these people and have a little bit of fun with it? Let the victims of these people have a little bit of fun with this motherfucker.
I agree.
I mean, it seems like that's good healing on the part of the victims.
You think?
I don't know. Maybe I'm way out in left field on this.
No, I don't think so, because you and I talked about stuff like this the other when all of this was going on, and it's just this world is getting insane. We seem to be the pussy country in the world right now. We seem to be the country that gives all of these motherfuckers all of these rights, even after they've been convicted.
Yep.
We give them all of this cush shit. If they find somebody guilty and they've gone through their appeal, I agree that they need an appeal, especially given the fact that I live in Texas. There's nothing for sure. But given the fact once they go through their appeal, then fuck it, be done with it, take them out back. High-speed lead poisoning, it's over.
Yeah,
you don't need to be 15, 20 years executing one of these motherfuckers.
No.
But you know what? I don't know that the feds are. Didn't they execute Tim McVeigh pretty quick?
I think they did, yeah. Guy Shay's in the chat room. He said all anti-American criminals need to be put in camps just in case, to include all people that are of Middle Eastern and Mexican backgrounds. M. Wayne.
Oh, hey, Guy.
Leave it to Guy.
Yes, sir. Guy's got some good ideas, though. Guy and I have talked about this.
Brad TPK, that's hard to say, says, I'd be interested in seeing studies of crime rates in countries that do not that do that form of punishment. I tell you what, if I knew that my punishment for stealing something out of a store, no matter
Yes,
how big
sir.
or small it was, if I knew
No.
that my punishment was my fingers were going to get cut off
Or your hand?
or my hand,
Are you
I'm-
going to take a chance on that?
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to lose my fucking fingers over a candy bar,
No
no
way.
matter what age you are.
That's right. That's right. And we're not saying that some of these other countries do the right thing in everything they do, but
No.
I think there's a lesson to be learned in that some of these severe forms of punishments work.
Yes. I don't know. Knight Rider
You
says
know,
we
and
take
we
all-
talk about how civilized we are. Yet we have the highest murder rate, we have the highest incarceration rate, and we have the highest of everything to do with crime in the world, yet we're so far down on the totem pole with everything else. I don't even understand why we think we're so hot shit when it comes to this.
Yeah. Punishment needs to be exactly that, punishment.
Yeah.
I understand there's a few innocent people that get convicted,
They do.
but how did they get there? They just didn't pull some innocent motherfucker minding his business and arresting him. What did they do to bring the spotlight onto them?
Well, and I see you and I think a lot alike on that deal. You know, if you wasn't guilty of this, you're guilty of that. But I don't know that makes it all right for this or that to happen to you. But there has to be a few casualties of war.
Mhm.
You know? And like I said, living in Texas, they will prosecute a motherfucker if you just look cross-eyed here. I mean, we believe in Texas, they love to put people in prisons for long periods of time. It means money to Dick Cheney and the people that own the private prisons. I get all of that. And we love to execute people. Just ask George Bush. We love to execute people here. And we also love to falsely accuse people and prosecute them and put them in jail for 25, 30 years. Okay, I get that. Maybe those, but what did bring those people there? How did they get to that point? How did Randall Dale Adams, who was convicted of killing a police officer and was the subject of a movie called The Thin Blue Line, came within 30 minutes of being executed twice during his 10, 12, 13, 15 years, whatever it was that he was incarcerated, but came within a half an hour 2 times of being executed? What brought him to within their crosshairs to start with?
Yep.
You know, I mean, was he just an upstanding, fine man with a job? And I just don't think so.
Now, this story I've got is from MotherJones.com. 6 false things you heard about the Boston bombing.
Mother Jones is a good site, by the way.
1, cell phone service was shut down in Boston. You know, everybody talked about that.
Yes, and it was not, right?
It was not shut down.
Right.
Number 2, explosions killed 12 people. That's what you talked about. It
Yes.
was the New York Post that came out right away. And this is what we were talking about. People are in such a fucking hurry to break a story that they would figure, okay, those are 2 big explosions. You've got to at least have 12 people dead. I know that they were probably sitting in some meeting room going, you know what? It looks like there could be at least 12 people dead here. Why don't we run with this story, and then we can update and say, okay, now we've updated, there's actually 18 people dead.
Correct, because I think that you're right. They naturally assumed that there were going to be more.
Yep.
I think you're right.
So the New York Post go ahead and ran a fucking story, and it says 12 dead, nearly 50 injured as 2 massive explosions rock race finish line. This is where they're not fact-checking. They're just going and running their suck.
Yep.
And then you take someone like Wayne Pierce that believes everything they read and runs with it. People that think that the media is 100% accurate in what they're reporting. Did you know that in the United States, you do not, as a news agency, you do not have to tell the truth about what's going on?
I read that. You and I talked about that, I don't know, last year or something
It's
like
a
that.
law that got passed, or it was, no, what was it? Somebody was sued. Some news agency was sued for an incorrect story.
Right.
And they filed under protection of freedom of press that sometimes there's an error.
Well, and also, didn't we read in that technically they don't even have to tell the truth and they can knowingly misrepresent the facts?
Because they're in media, news.
Because that's correct. That's kind of like Fox News. At one point in time, Fox News was not allowed in Canada as a news source because Canada believed that their news was less factual than any other news source, so they could only come into Canada at one point in time as an entertainment channel. Which goes with, you can report anything you want, I guess.
Exactly. We've got number 3, bombing at the JFK Library. It was reported by multiple sources. In fact, here's somebody dropped the ball at the Boston Police Department. They
sure
even
did.
said that they're investigating a link between an incident at the JFK Library and the Marathon bombing. Now, here's the thing. They did not say that it was linked. They said they were investigating a link.
Correct. And that was the police commissioner that said that.
But it was then classified as a mechanical fire. They should have just come right out and said, you know what, this is a fire. But
right.
They never really clarified it.
Correct.
Number 4, a Saudi national was in custody. That's what was reported. Again, by the New York Post.
And that's what I heard.
The New York Post posted this.
That's where I got it.
When he wasn't in custody.
The New York Post even went so far as to saying that this guy was apparently one of the bombs burned this guy, and he was under police guard at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was, what'd they say? He was then taken into custody or something like that. I don't know. That's what the New York Post wrote, yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're listening on Spreaker or wherever you're listening right now, there's great discussion going on in the chat room between Guy Shea, Brad, Knight Rider. I see Guy busted out the N-word.
Oh, of course.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Number 5 additional devices were found. That, again, was false.
Yeah.
And that was reported by the Wall Street Journal. Again.
See, and I thought ABC was being too... They were withholding stuff, and everything was so... The same facts were coming out several hours later at ABC, and it turns out that they were just being responsible journalists.
Yeah. And that's the thing with some of these news agencies. A lot of people say that NBC News sucks because they were delayed on everything. They didn't have all the information.
Correct.
Well,
that's
here's
the same
deal.
thing that was happening with ABC, yes.
Yeah, they actually were fact-checking and went, Now, here's what they should have done, and I know that they don't want to put an image out there like they're incorrect as well, but they should have went and said, Wall Street Journal's reporting this, but we haven't been able to locate that source anywhere.
Hell yeah.
We don't think that this is right type thing. You call them out on that, and then sometime they may be wrong, so then they look like a fool. So that's why you're not going to see a lot of that. But then in the background, eventually after, you're not getting information that you want to be fed, so NBC News is not a reputable source for you because you're not getting what you want.
Yep.
Number 6, police have security footage of a possible suspect. Well, at the time of this writing, they didn't. They do now. Well, that's what's being reported. I can't confirm that myself, but they're supposed to have a news conference at 5 o'clock to discuss that. But at this time of this writing, which I assume was probably last night, people were saying that they had security footage when they didn't.
Well, and I tell you what makes this so horrific in the United States is this kind of shit just doesn't happen. I mean, since 9/11, we've been pretty good about securing the United States with regard to terrorist attacks. You agree?
I'd agree with that.
Okay. What we experienced as Americans in Boston is what goes on in fucking London and Belfast and all these other countries, these other cities and countries all over the world. They have this kind of shit happening all the time.
And
subways blowing up and restaurants blowing up and people getting killed and maimed. This is new to us.
Now, this is where the conspiracy theorists come in, because over in those countries, it is a political issue. It is the political parties blowing up their own people.
That's right.
And that's where they think, this is happening here. It's got to be our government doing it.
Well, and it gives people like Alex Jones
Dick
Alex
smack.
Jones has made, since 2000, they said that he's made somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000 predictions of this, that, and whatever. And I think it's the old adage of if you throw enough shit on the wall, something's going to stick.
Yep.
But, a batting average of saying that something's going to happen, and then you've got so many predictions out there, nobody can go back and fact check that because you can't tell whether you said it or not.
Now, I know there's a lot of news agencies out there that won't even fucking say Alex Jones's name.
You're right. He's a whack job. And I'm going to tell you, he may be famous and saying all of this stuff, but these little minions like Wayne Pierce and little Nicky, little Nick, I almost started, as soon as I said his name, I started talking like
Jay
he did.
Towers.
But you know what? These guys better watch out what they're saying. I promise you, they're not in the same league as some of these other people. And they may say that they have the right of freedom of the press or freedom of whatever. I got news for you, man. You better watch what you're saying. That's all I can say. I really mean that. You can end up with a real situation on your hands.
Now, apparently we're having a racism talk in the chat room.
Uh-oh.
I know. It's a good time to take a quick commercial break.
I agree.
We'll come back here in just a few, and we've got an assignment for you.
We do. We have an assignment for you guys out there.
Yep. So a quick assignment. We'll talk about that coming up next here on Mobster Boss Radio.
Oh, that's right. We have new sponsors, don't we?
Oh, yeah, we do. Yep. We'll be back.
That's correct. All right.
You're listening to Mobster Boss Radio Live. We'll be right back.
100 years ago, Chevrolet sprang bolt by bolt, car by car, out of the very best America had to offer. Ingenuity, integrity, optimism, and a belief that the finest things are the most thoughtfully made, not the most expensive. Today, the American character is no less strong, and Chevrolet continues as an expression of the best of it, bringing more technology to more people than ever in our history, inventing new ways to get around our planet while preserving it at the same time, exploring new horizons of design and power, and making our vehicles amongst the safest on Earth. This isn't just any car company. This is Chevrolet, and the strength of our nation can be found in every car and truck we make. It's why today, tomorrow, and on into a bright future, we can proudly say, Chevy runs deep.
Hey, wouldn't another 2% look good about now? Let's stick your money in a Great Rate Money Market account at Great Western Bank, because it pays around 2% more than most other major banks in town. 2% more. Not a bad concept. Call 1-800-GW-ASK-US. Or don't. Hey, it's your money. Great Western Bank.
When it comes to travel, it's a jungle out there. High-pressured salesmen, stupid gimmicks, and dubious accommodations. But now there's cheaptickets.com. Discover unpublished airfares you can't find anywhere else. Cheaptickets.com. Create your own deals.
Welcome back to Mobster Boss Radio Live with JD, Sonny, and Lester.
Welcome back to Mobster Boss Radio. JD, Sonny, and Lester here. Lester's been quiet lately. He's just kind of hanging out over there. No, our fact-checking, a lot of that does come from Lester. I do have to admit that.
Yes.
He does a pretty good job for us. I'm not going to lie.
Somebody just sent me a message.
Okay.
Said, man, this guy character is something else. I think you have the Grand Wizard of the KKK here.
Shocking.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the thing. If you want to open your mouth on your opinions around here, go ahead and do it. It's not saying that we won't call you out on it. If we think that you're running your suck on no facts or whatever you're going to do, but if you want to go around and march around dissing somebody and that's on you. That's your thing.
Yep.
Okay, so as we discussed earlier, we're going to get off the Boston Marathon thing. I told you we were only going to talk a little while on that.
Right.
Not going to beat a dead horse around here. We'll move on. We got another 10 minutes here. Want to bring something to your attention. You know, we like to go out there and pretty much poke holes in Wayne Pierce and Nick Larson and the Big DC and BK and all these other motherfuckers out there that are just not great broadcasters.
No, in fact, everybody that you mentioned, with the exception of Wayne Pierce, was involved in a child sex skit.
Yes.
So, you know, we have absolutely
no respect for them.
None.
No respect for them. So, you know, we spend our time, you know, I'm going to be honest, we listen to their shit once in a while, and we go through and we go, hey, listen to this. You won't believe what they fucking said today.
Right.
Just when you think that they've said something totally uneducational and factless, they come up with something else.
Oh, yeah.
So we bring that up. But we spend a lot of time doing that. We've got our terrestrial radio gig, which is taken off.
Yep.
For us. So, we, you know, not a lot of time left here for Mobster Boss Radio, but we don't want to ignore it. We want to still be here.
Right.
So we're looking for help from you to bring different content to us, so to speak. You be the investigator. You go out and figure out this shit. There's a new show on
This
Spreaker.
is the assignment, right?
This is the assignment. S.T.O.L.E.N 18+. Now, S.T.O.L.E.N spelled out S.T.O.L.E.N. S.T.O.L.E.N. That's how it's spelled out. We want you to go over there and listen to the show. We think that we're throwing you a softball. We're lofting this one in real easy for you.
Should be an easy catch, we think.
Go out there and start Google searching their names of all the people involved. What it is, you got two people on two different sides claiming that they're both pedophiles.
Right.
And we did a little
ahead.
checking on these people, and to be totally honest, they're both not that great people.
No, and see, what they did is both of them started organizations. One up in Canada, in British Columbia, and the other one down in Australia. And I think, I may be wrong here, but I'm thinking that these two guys used to work together. Now they're mad at each other. Mm-hmm. And so what do? They do what people seem to do nowadays and call each other, you know, baby touchers and pedophiles and all of this sort of stuff. And I don't understand that. I don't understand why you go off and to me, that's when you run out of any type of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you just go over there and listen to it. It sounds like a bunch of kids arguing back and forth with each other.
It does.
You go over there and they're throwing accusations around. Again, factless, no facts.
Yep.
All hearsay. Go over there and check out all their names and do what you can for research online. You're going to find a lot of stuff that you're going to go, wow, really?
And see, they've made each other's name. They've made so many accusations between this what was this guy's name? John Hans Anderson up in Canada, and the other guy, John Asters, down in Australia. Mm-hmm. They've talked about each other so much. If you put their names in, all this pedophilia shit comes up.
This is exactly what I love, and people don't realize when they go spouting their mouth off on the internet, on message boards, and attach your name to it, or you get involved and somebody else puts your name to it,
mm-hmm.
and you want to go get yourself a job. What do you think your employer is going to do? They're going to go to Google and Google search your name every time.
That's right. And don't they check your Facebook accounts and all of that stuff now?
They do all that stuff. Now they put your name into Google search and all this pedophile stuff comes up. Do you think you're going to land that job that you want?
Hell no.
Mind your own fucking business. Who gives
you know, we
a
had
shit?
that experience happen on Spreaker where Shillbilly didn't like Top and accused him of being a pedophile, and I'm starting to think that this is the new gotcha.
Yes, you're a pedophile. Gotcha.
Because you got to remember this, and I like Joe Shillbilly.
Yeah,
I think but I personally think he went too far with, and he may say, well, you mean it's okay for him? I don't know. I don't know what all's true and what isn't true because I don't know. But what I'm saying here on this deal, you've actually got this guy, John Anderson's mother, saying that he's a bad guy, his own mother.
Yeah.
And he's saying my mom's insane, crazy, and all this sort of stuff. And she likes this guy down in Australia. It's crazy. They've gotten the FBI involved. Now the FBI is kicking some ass and taking some names, working with the different law enforcement agencies. And it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They call. And let me tell you something. They called the FBI. This guy in Canada called the FBI in the United States. That's a crime to record the FBI calling them, I think.
I believe it. I want to believe it is.
Then not only did they do that, they called down to Australia, talked to a police agency, and brought this guy's name up, this John Astor's name up, and then accused the policeman on the phone of harboring a pedophile. That's how. See, when you run out of people paying attention to you, when people just kind of go, okay, well, do this, this, and this, then they just call him a pedophile.
Yes. So go ahead and check out both sides of the story, and then if you want, report.
And we may be wrong. We may be wrong. Hell, there may be basis for both of them calling each other these types of names. I don't know.
But my question is why? I understand that, and I, you and I talked about this the other day. Neither one of us are a fan of a pedophile in any way. I think it's disgusting. I think it's sick, and the fact that anybody would think about doing that or run that through their brains, I'm not a big fan of, okay?
Right.
But to go ahead and start making stuff up like that or bringing it to light. Now here's the difference.
Look at the one call that we listened to where they called down to Australia. Mm-hmm. As soon as the police officer in Australia did not want to take his hearsay evidence over the phone, they started accusing the cop of harboring a pedophile.
Yep, that's exactly
You don't do that. Now, the guy down in Australia told the guy to forward any evidence that he had to about this guy that they were calling about, forward it to your local people, and then explain to them what's going on, and then one agency will get in touch, their agency will get in touch with them, and they will gladly look at it at that point. They didn't want to hear that. You're harboring a pedophile.
Now, people are going to ask us, they're going to ask us, why is this not okay, but it's okay for you guys to go off on Big DC and everybody else for that sex skit that they did? Well, here's the difference, is they came out right ahead with it. They went on Spreaker and put it out there. It's not like we're digging this up and making it up.
No. We've got recordings of their show. It's not, and we're not saying that, yes, and they identified themselves. They didn't try to disguise their voices.
No.
They were broadcasting under their accounts. And we were, we brought it up to everybody's attention. But we weren't we didn't call them. Did I just lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
I'm just not walking on you. I'm not doing the Nick Larson.
I heard something pop up on my deal.
Nope, you're still here.
Anyway, that's why we're not calling them pedophiles. We say that how can anybody come up with some kind of child sex skit? How can that happen?
Yeah. And
how can you find that? And they admitted to it.
And why is this radio show, Stolen 18+, dedicating a whole fucking show to pedophilia?
Dude.
What's the point?
That whole website that he's got. And see, they don't even get their own website. They get it off on one of those free sites or something.
Well,
that whole deal is supposed to be about kids and reuniting kids with their parents, and I don't understand how it drifts off into pedophilia.
It seems to me that anybody that's going to go down that road and can't get off it, can't get off the topic, just absorbs themselves into it like that, has got to be a victim themselves.
In some way, maybe
in some way.
Maybe that is the case. I don't know.
And I'm not accusing them of being touched. I'm not, but generally speaking, that's kind of the way that these people work. These groups that come out here against men that abuse women, I don't think that's right either. But I don't think you need to really go out there and create a group that's going to attack all men and say that all men are horrible. I feel that this site over there maybe attacking an innocent guy who may or may not be a pedophile. You know, there's no facts to support what they're doing. They're just running their sucks back and forth. They're getting mad at each other, and then they escalate with some outrageous claim on each other.
Yeah, and you know, we listened to one of their videos. That was the guy was saying that some women that were in his group had somehow hijacked his website or one Facebook page or something like that, and had started posting a bunch of stuff on there and locked him out of his own site. So he immediately said that they were harboring a pedophile.
Yep.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
They obviously came to this guy and garnered his trust in the beginning for something. There was something that they had to offer him in their quest for whatever it is that they're doing. There was something that he liked that they did.
So there's your assignment. Go out there, find information on both these people that are going back and forth.
Right.
And then come back and let us know about it. You can post it on our wall. We'll keep everybody updated. If you want to come on the air with us and talk about what you found, that'd be
we'll
great.
have you on.
Whatever you want. Well, we're giving you them as a gift of what we do to that radio show and the Resistance and Wayne Pierce. And we deal with them. This is yours to deal with. Have fun with it. Go out there. You know, they look like fucking idiots fighting on the internet.
It looks bad, that's for sure.
With pedophilia, and you Google search their names, and all that comes up is pedophilia. That's exactly what you want attached with your name on the internet. Dumbasses.
I agree. I absolutely agree, and I just think it's crazy that people get into these things, and I don't know, and listening to them, like I told you, is this a deal? Because they talk about how CPS is a bad thing. They talk about how Child Protective Services is a bad thing and removes kids from these deals. So is this a deal where some guy hasn't handled his child support and he's lost his visitation and trying to regain it? Is that what this is about, or is it really about pedophilia? You just never know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think it's crazy.
Well, it's time to wrap things up here on the show.
Right.
There it is. I have nothing else to say. I think we spoke our piece today.
I think we did, and there was somebody that sent me a message the other day and asked me why we're ending our shows before an hour or so. Because we talk until we get done.
Yeah, we're done. We're not going to sit here and go,
we're not going to pull a Larson and try to stretch things out the way that they do.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be just as boring as the rest of those motherfuckers if we did that.
Yep. Thanks again to Lady Cobra, Beyond Buzz, Guy Shea, Brad TPK, who stopped by. Who else? Dougal. Did I mention Guy? I think I mentioned Guy. There's another show that stopped by here, but I can't find the name of it. There's a couple other people.
We even referred to them.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. But thanks for stopping by. I know there was a couple others that were in there chatting and so on. I think that's it. Time to wrap her up. Nothing else to tell you. Of course, you can find us on Facebook. Like us if you could. Our show page here on Spreaker, where it's got all the Facebook likes and everything on the main show page where all of our shows are listed. Go ahead and just click that like button for us. That's all you got to do. Show your appreciation.
Absolutely.
And the Twitter button. Tweet us. Twat us.
Twat us.
All right. On behalf of Lester, myself, and Sonny, we're out.
Later, my niggas.
See ya.